we talked about lifestyle evangelism and about loving your spouse. So how does that play out? If I've got an unbelieving spouse, how do I love them?
Yeah. I think you cheer them on. I have right here in my office, I've got a phrase that says, and it's talking about kids, but it says every child needs at least one person who is irrationally positive about them. Well, obviously, if you're a parent, your kids are not perfect, and there's going to be times when you would like to not be positive. But you know what? I think part of it is the believing spouse the greatest cheerleader of the unbelieving spouse, the most supportive. The Bible talks about submission, and really that means to serve. Are you a servant lover or a selfish lover? So I think the believing spouse who is married to the unbelieving spouse has to be an incredible servant lover, and that's make it attractive. Are they attractive? Set the tone in your home. The atmosphere in your home is something that's attractive. And guess what? They're going to be drawn. We're drawn to warmth. We're drawn to a positive lifestyle or whatever. I was asking, and I mentioned Neil Clark Warren just in the last podcast, but I asked Neil Clark Warren, what is the one trait that's most effective without a moment's hesitation? He said, positivity and adaptability. Mm-hmm. So, when you're positive toward your spouse and you're not being negative, when you're encouraging, when you're adaptable, that's going to work on a relationship, whether you're a Christian or not. So I think that's what you do when you have an unbelieving spouse, you go overboard. It's hard to do, especially if the spouse is, needy and, rough. But the truth is the believing spouse could be needy and rough too.
Well, and you may not get the same response that you might get if your spouse was a believer, but I think that's where it kind of goes back to obedience to God. Okay, God, what do you want me to do in this marriage as a spouse? And then it's like, okay, I'll do this for you, God.